Number 10. Air Jordans were once banned from the NBA. Air Jordan was born in 1985 and is still one of the best all-time basketball sneakers. They are growing bigger year after year. However, the start was not that easy. The sneakers during that time were mostly white, and the players were told to wear shoes, which matched their uniforms and the shoes of their teammates. The early Air Jordans came in black and red combinations, which were not liked by former NBA Commissioner David Stern because they were matching with Chicago Bulls uniform. Stern fined Michael Jordan $5,000 for every game that he played with these sneakers on. Jordan did not care, because all the fine was paid by Nike on his behalf. It was not a big price for Nike in return for what they got, as Air Jordan brand has earned Nike $19 billion in the past 5 years. Number 9. Shaquille O'Neal made only one three-point shot ever in his entire 20 years NBA career. One of the best all-time NBA players, Shaq is a 4-time NBA champion and a 15 times NBA All-Star. He dominated each and every aspect of the game except one. Shaq has attempted 22 three-pointers in his entire career and has converted only a single out of them. It is hard to imagine a player with 11,196 buckets in his NBA career, but only a single three-pointer in it, isn't it? It was on the 16th of February 1996 when Orlando Magic inbounded the ball, and with 2 seconds left on the clock, one of the ugliest bank shots ever in the history of NBA was made by Shaq. Number 8. Kobe Bryant's first NBA contract was co-signed by his parents. Kobe Bryant was the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA draft. He was selected by Charlotte Hornets, but was immediately traded to Los Angeles Lakers, and the rest is history, which all of you know. One of the other stories concerning the 1996 NBA draft was that when Kobe was drafted, he was still only 17 years old. The rules for eligibility to an NBA draft were different during those times than those are today. Kobe's parents had to co-sign his NBA contract on his behalf until he turned 18 later that year. Number 7. The shortest player and the tallest player in NBA history played once for the same team. Muggsy Bogues, 5'3", is the shortest person to play in the NBA. Muggsy was an amazing athlete and was famous for his steals. He was so small that in one of the plays, he even went through the legs of a player. He was an underrated shot blocker. Manute Bol, 7'7", on the other hand, is the tallest person to play in the NBA. He was an amazing shot blocker and rebounder. He was an underrated three-point shooter. In the 1987 to 1988 season, they both played for the same team in Washington Bullets. Number 6. LeBron James eats and writes with his left hand. One of the most dominant players on the planet right now, LeBron James eats and writes with his left hand. He is ambidextrous. LeBron shoots with the right hand and is usually considered right-handed, but the fact is, he uses his left hand for almost everything other than shooting the basketball. On being asked about this, James replied that he tried to imitate his idols Michael Jordan and Penny Hardaway during his childhood, and started shooting with the right because they used to shoot with the right. Just imagine if LeBron starts shooting with the left too. He will be unstoppable if he does that. Number 5. 60% of NBA players become broke after 5 years of retirement. This data is based on a study by Sports Illustrated, which has been done a few years back in 2009, but the trend is the same even today. How can an NBA player who earns millions go broke? This is an obvious question which comes to the mind. But the study is true. An NBA player earns millions during his career and has a luxurious lifestyle. He then spends all the money on cars, shoes, clothes, houses, and others. It is not hard to imagine how the money vanishes fast. The players have to understand the importance of money, and they have to be financially smart. LeBron James is a great example for this. He has hired people to look after his business and financial matters. NBA players need to understand that there is much more life after NBA retirement. Number 4. There has never been a quintuple double in the NBA. Double-doubles and triple-doubles are common in NBA. Have you heard of quadruple double? There are only 4 players in the NBA history to have a quadruple double. They are Nate Thurmond with 22 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists, and 12 blocks. Alvin Robertson with 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals. Hakeem Olajuwon with 18 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, and 11 blocks. And David Robinson with 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 blocks. Now comes to the quintuple double. As mentioned earlier, There has never been a quintuple double in NBA where a player has recorded at least 10 stat points in 5 categories. Number 3. Shaquille O'Neal challenged Hakeem Olajuwon to a one-on-one game. Back in 1995, Shaquille O'Neal was only 22 years old, and he was leading the Orlando Magic. He took Magic to the finals in that season, though the finals had a different story for Shaq. He was considered the prospect, being compared to the one of the best all-time centers of NBA, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem scored more than 30 points each game and outscored Shaq in every department. The series was a clean sweep, and Shaq was very frustrated. Shaq was so pissed at Hakeem that he sent a note to Hakeem after the finals ended, challenging him for a one-on-one. So the Taco Bell one-on-one challenge was due, and even the commercial of it came out. Number 2. The shortest player in NBA history, Muggsy Bogues, blocked 39 shots. Tyrone Muggsy Bogues is the shortest player in the NBA history. Just imagine a basketball player with the height 5'3" and making it into the NBA. This is not a normal story. This is an extraordinary story of an extraordinary man. Muggsy Bogues faced criticism about his height at each and every phase of his life, but he never gave up. He worked effortlessly and made it to the NBA. He blocked 39 shots on taller players when he was in the NBA. He was very special. Other special NBA players such as Earl Boykins, Spud Webb, and Nate Robinson have played similar styles with lots of hearts despite their heights below 6 feet. Number 1. Paul Pierce was stabbed 11 times and still played every games in the 2000 to 2001 NBA season. On the 25th of September 2000, Paul Pierce was at Buzz Club in Boston. It was late in the night, and unfortunately, Paul was at a wrong place at the wrong time. He tried to stop a fight which took place in the club and was stabbed 11 times. He was stabbed in the face, neck, and back. Somebody even smashed a bottle on his head. His former teammate, Tony Batty, rushed him to the hospital and saved his life. He had to undergo a lung surgery. Remarkably, he was back on his feet 3 days later after the surgery on his own. He soon came back to the NBA court and started shooting. One of the craziest things was that he played the entire 82 games in the 2000 to 2001 NBA season and was the only Boston Celtics player to start all the 82 games in that season. For a person who was stabbed 11 times, this just seems impossible. This was because he was mentally very, very tough. He was very dedicated to his team in basketball. Which is the most interesting NBA story for you? Share your comments below.